topic, we're talking about how to scale up as a forex trader. All right. So number one on the list is use proper risk management. As simple as this sound, I find a lot of traders finding it hard to integrate proper risk management into the trading. Right? They always feel like almighty, and they always feel like only God knows what they feel like. But I tell you, if you want to achieve success or experience growth in the long haul, using proper risk management is something you always want to be doing, right? So say you are a retail trader, you don't have much capital, all you have is say all you have is $50, right? So you have $50. How can you scale up $50, right? Now, how can you scale up with trading this $50 account? Now, I've had a lot of people argue with me that trading small capital is a waste of time. They would rather wait and save up some money, huge amount of money, and then deposit. And but I always tell them, the only thing it will take is time. But trust me, it is possible. I'm someone that's speaking from experience. I've in my early days trading when I didn't have enough money. Um, I started trading with $10, and even though it took a while, I started to scale up. There were certain rules that I followed, right? I don't know how I had that understanding at that young age, but there were certain rules I followed. I automatically knew that I wasn't supposed to be, withdrawing my profits and spending lavishly and all that. I knew I had to scale, right? And given the amount of capital I had in my account, I knew that the best thing was to, you know, keep trading, and whatever I make, I just leave it there and not withdraw and just keep iterating the process, right? So say you have $50, right? And on average, on average, whenever you trade, you target a 1 to 3 weeks to reward, right? A 1 to 3 weeks to reward, meaning that you are losing 1% of your account size to make 3%, right? Um, so let's say you see a trade. The trade has 10 pips stop loss, right? 10 pips stop loss, right? And the take profit is what, around 30 pips stop loss. 30 pips what? Stop loss. Pardon me. 30 pips, right? Now let's do the math. On a $50 account, I think the thing what the lot size you should be using on a $50 account is around 0.02. So you want to keep your risk low. So say you are on a potential trade that has a 10 pip stop loss with a 0.02 lot size. Let's do the math. It means that if you lose that trade with that 10 pips, right? If you lose that trade on that 10 pips, you're going to be losing two what? $2, right? So I'd have asked you to risk 0.5% of your account size, but since it's a $50 account, you would have to use somewhere at around 0.01 to 0.02. So what you want to be doing is risking 1% of your account size. So for those of you that cannot afford to use 0.002, you can equally use 0.01. That is, you're going to be risking 1% of your account size. So meaning, if you take a trade with a 10 pips stop loss and 30 pips take profits, it means that if you lose that trade, you're going to be losing what? $1. That's exactly 1% of your account size. So when you lose $1, your account will be on what? $49. Correct? So conversely, say you won this trade, your account is going to go up to what? 3%. It means you lose $1 to make what? $3. So this is what you want to be doing. You want to be consistently trading without withdrawing. So you made $3 today. I cannot guarantee that on your next trade you're going to win it. So let's say on your next two trades, you lost both trade. This is why you need to be very heavy on risk management. Always ensure that you use the same lot size all the time. right? So let's say on your next trade you lost your next trade. Your account will be on what? $52, right? $52, correct? Now, you had the third trade, you lost the third trade because no matter how good you are, you will not always win on the trade, correct? So let's say you lost the third trade, you are back on $51. But now on the fourth trade, you won your first trade. What will your account go up to? Your account is going to go up to $54, right? So you might even lose on your next two trades. You might even lose your next two trades. But assuming you win the next trade after that, what happens? Your accounts go up to what? $56. But I'm telling you guys, this takes time, and the issue with a lot of people is they are not patient enough to watch themselves grow. That's the issue we have with traders, unrealistic traders. They want to make money as soon as possible so they can fuel among. This thing takes time. You have to give yourself, if possible, years. You have to give yourself at least 2 years trading this account without what? Withdrawing. If that's possible, then the sky would not be your limit, right? That brings us to the number two question, to the number two tips on how to grow a small account. Number two, never withdraw money. Let it compound. Just like the example I gave here. Always make sure that you are always you are always never withdrawing. Let your capital compound. I tell you, if you follow a very strict risk management system, you are going to succeed automatically. Like, the laws of nature are fixed. You can't cheat nature. You are patient, you are being disciplined, you are playing, you are following the rules of the game. I tell you, you are going to win. So stop withdrawing money and let it compound. I could give you a little story about myself. So I've been trading for almost 5 years now, right? And for the first 3 years when I was trading, I started with as little as okay, to be very frank with you, I started with around 1,000 euros. It didn't go well because I won't necessarily say that I bashed the account, but I wasn't growing because for some reasons I wasn't good enough, and I just needed to work on risk management. I didn't fully understand. Didn't fully understand the concept of risk management, so I was just trading randomly, right? So it was more like a mismanagement of capital. Over time, I went from 1,000 euros to 800, from 800 to 500, then to 300. I had to pull out the money. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. Started to work on my skill, and I started to work on risk management, and then but this time I started with $50. Not because I didn't have money, but because that was what I could afford to use to trade. And I tell you, for over 3 years, I've been trading my $50 account. I've never withdrawn for once. Now that's might be hard for you guys to believe, but I've never withdrawn money for once. You know what I did instead? I had to look for a job, a teaching job. My mom owns a school, so I had to go and find a job at her establishment, and she put me on salary, and this is what I did. After the end of every month, I always apportion a certain percentage of money that will go to my account, to my Forex account, while I'm still trading, right? So I never withdrew money for once. I kept on adding. Instead, I was adding. Whenever I make a loss, I am down 1%. Whenever I make money, I'm up 3%. So moving on to the next um tips. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop it. That's a destructive mind system, belief system. And the more you compare yourself, the more pressure you add on yourself. The more pressure you add on yourself, the more probability that the more probability of you making it in this business reduces, and it reduces at an exponential rate. Number four tips for trading with small accounts: always focus on your trading process. Always focus on, I can't emphasize this much enough, but always make sure to focus on your trading process. Number five, use stop loss and take profit. So I don't know whom you see on YouTube, or I don't know the gurus that tells you, if you, okay, because of the fact that the market, forex market, is highly manipulated, you should not put stop loss. If you put stop loss, over time you're going to end up, a failed trader. So you should, when you take a trade or when you execute a trade, just let market play its course. If it goes 50 pips against you, I mean, that is a whole bunch of that's a whole bunch of be systematic about trading. Be systematic about trading. I keep telling you guys, you need to create a plan, a system, and you need to follow that system strictly. You can't afford not to follow your system. You need to apply discipline. So overall, just focus on your trading plan. Just um use stop loss and take profit, right? So as to avoid stories that touch. If you lose $1 today, thanks to your proper risk management, your next trade might be 3%. You might make up to 3%, and that 3% would compensate for the $1 you lost. But imagine you're not using stop loss. You are not using stop loss. You lose $10 on a $50 account. What's the guarantee that on your next trade you're going to make more than $10? I mean, let's be realistic for once, right? So the next tip on how to grow a small account: have a main income, have another source of income. I said this in my I said this earlier, that I had to go look for a job, and my mom had to put me on salary, and every month I had to take a certain percentage of money and add it to my um to my trading account. I didn't entirely make forex my main source of income, because I understood the concept of trading. I understood that I would not see profits every day, or even I understood that in a month I might be just 3% of my I might just be 3% up of my entire account, and I don't want to be withdrawing that 3%, correct? I want to see there's a way for me to even add more. I want to do that, right? So have a main source of income, something that you somewhere that something else that pays you, and that pay the bills from. So if you're using forex as your main source of income when you're still broke, I think it's the wrong thing to do. Lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't feel too big, don't feel too proud. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Always be willing to ask for help. If they can help you, or if they have the answers to your questions, they will help you. If they don't, you meet the next person that have the answers to your question. So I believe that with this few points of mine, you've been able to discern, or understand understand how to scale up as a forex trader. So see you guys in the next video.